For the, for the purpose of those who will participate now, who will leave, I know you might be at a petrol shed, at a petrol queue. You might be someone who is having power cut now or then. You might want to collect the entire series of this entire clip. So I'm going to record this, and you all have to give me the okay if you need it to continue with the recording. In the recording, I will make this recording available in this particular channel, which you can see here. Can all of you all come and just typically try to search IMC campus? You will look at this particular school. So if you can subscribe here, it would be a great help, and it would encourage all of us to actually do more videos. Please be kind enough to subscribe us here, and I'm going to give you the link to those who are looking at medical content, specially made from the Sri Lankan background. So I know there is enough of medical content out there made by a lot of Indian professionals, doctors, etc. To make it with the Sri Lankan flavor only is my attempt to have it from here. So I have done some of the most important searches given by students. I have done about the uncertainties in Sri Lanka. I have talked about the US dollar problem. I've talked about safety in studying medicine in various countries, MD versus MBBS. How do we consider it? I have done something regarding Canada some time back, and I've done the salary scales of Canada, which is somewhere here. So I'm not going to go through that because these videos are there. So I want you all to go through this, subscribe, support us by following us. You can also share these things with others who are looking at exclusive medical content, right? Now, this particular event today for the next 45 minutes is going to be regarding Canada, and this is with International Medical Campus. Let me take you through this particular area for the first 3 minutes of this particular segment. The International Medical Campus is a campus which was formed 24 years ago by a medical doctor with the understanding of helping students to go overseas and study medicine. You can see this time the highest ERPM pass rates have got something to do with some of our past students. We have, including the rank 1 student also is from one of our universities. Rank 1 is one Miss Dr. Jessica Pereira from Ave Mary Convent in Negombo, who actually ranked number 1, and there are others also who are here. So this is actually a platform where medical students get to understand and meet these kind of calibered people, where they can have a 360-degree approach in understanding the medical profession, the industry, etc. If you go through us, you can look at our history here. Please go through it whenever you get time, and you can go through the universities we work with. Of all these universities we work with, for the last 12 years, we were able to contribute with the highest number of people who have gone and studied and completed and also migrated and are working in Sri Lanka from the Republic of Belarus. We have over 300 doctors since 1981 who have at the moment been practicing in Sri Lanka, even up to the level of consultants, right? So this is what we are doing. I will be speaking a little about the pathway programs when it comes into entering a university, with the option of selecting pre-university programs. So let us get into action. From here onwards, I'm going to click this, and I'm going to keep my rough paper open here. Anyone can take screenshots as I go with this, right? How and where does Canada come into play, and how do we actually look into it? So I'm going to look at scratch. I'm going to take it from scratch, and I'll take it from different segments of what we are going to do. So let me divide my segments into something like this. So I'm going to have a line like this. A person, I'll make this line a little bit up here so that I can use the entire room of what we can do. Let's say a person is going to come and meet me after O-levels and A-levels. So you're going to meet me after OLs, and you're going to meet me after ALs. Based on your A-levels, you are telling me that, sir, I want to immediately start something in Canada because I have a migration plan working in Canada. If you are planning to do that, you have to come and meet me with grades relating to as AAA or AAB. Guys, my dear respected individuals, everyone here, doctors. I'm going to take exactly 45 minutes. I'll be done with it. So I just want your attention here. I know that we have a lot of distractions around us. We might be out, power cuts and so much of stuff, right? But let me just make it brief and to the point as much as possible. I need triple A or AAB. Anything lower than this, please don't try to go to Canada. Number one. Anything with this does not guarantee Canada yet. ඒ කියන්නේ 3A's අරන්ුත් මට කැනඩා සමහර වෙලාවට යන්න තියෙන offer letter එක ගන්න බැරි වෙනවා. There are reasons other than this which you will have to actually take into consideration. I hope when you have got ready with this seminar, you have a pen and a paper near you. Apart from that, මොකක් හරි miss වුණොත් you can also check the recording. Apart from this, what we need is, we need 3A's, 2A, 1B. We need you to go through number 2 an aptitude test. Number 3, we need to look into your English knowledge. Number 4, we need to look into your extracurricular activities. Number 5, we need to take an interview with you. When I say we, the university would want to take an interview with you. Number 6, additional things. If you have a good resume, if you have a good personal statement, you are at an advantage to get into the university. Number 7, if you have sports, you are a good person to get into the university. Number 8, anything else which I did not mention, random things. You are a head prefect. You are a community, you're a person who does a lot of community workshops to increase awareness of, let's say, breast cancer, example. Okay, you have a better chance of getting into a Canadian university. Number 8 would be someone who has patents for various inventions. Number 9 or 10 would be a person who has a YouTube account with over 1,000, 10,000 followers, who is doing awareness with regarding to the medical and health science sector. All of you will be here. Now, why I came with these areas is to say that, let's say there is a student who applies to the university with 3A's. Apart from university applying university with 3A's, if there is a student who has 2A, 1B, and he or she is the head prefect of the college, this student is superior than this student according to the university's academic portfolio. Number 2, if there is a 3A student applying with someone who has 2A's and 1B, has represented Sri Lanka out at an international sporting event, or who has a YouTube account with 3,000 followers, is much more high in status than the 3A student. All of y'all will get the opportunity to apply, and as long as everything goes well, you need to get into from here a bachelor's degree to go and enter the Canadian university. Bachelor's degree will be basically 3 years. It sometimes can be 4 years depending on how your university works. However, we need a BSc. This BSc can come in form of any health science degree. When I say any health science degree, it can be psychology, biomedical sciences, it can be a chemistry special degree, it's some biomedical engineering, anything like that. Apart from that, some people, if they can do other degrees, your subjects, the number of subjects relating to sciences will be taken into consideration if you want to go to the next level. From here, you will connect yourself with a 4-year MD program when you are entering Canada. You will be having a 4-year MD program. This 4 years will be quite expensive if you go in as a direct student. In Canada, probably this particular part will cost you, let's say in LKR, to understand our figures, at least 150 lakhs into 4 years. This is only for academics. Then what about the BSc degree? Maybe it might be about 80 to 100 lakhs in LKR into 3 years. This is what you're going to do. Have I considered the articles? No. Have I considered visa? No. Have I considered IELTS? No. Have I considered the cost of living? No. Have I considered hostel? No. Nothing. Only academics. By the time you finish this, you should have at least 1,200 lakhs in LKR, or over 100 million to pay if you go through this method. This is why you will not see many Sri Lankans trying this method. This method is too rigorous. The disadvantage is that it is too costly. It is too much as a time consuming thing. I'm going to tell you the loopholes. Please remember this because a lot of students take some wrong decisions when they get into this. Some universities or some agents or some colleges have been encouraging this. Would you believe that if I say that in my last 12-year career of handling medical universities, I've never seen a student successfully finishing this method the way I'm explaining. But is this method available? Is it a reality? Is it really there? Yes, yes. But is it possible to do? It's very hard to do. I'll give you an example. Can you see where I'm going to highlight here, which is this area? You will lose some amount of time here. You will have an aptitude test to actually enter here. Your GPA is going to be taken into serious consideration to enter here. Just because you finish a BSc degree, it does not take me actually in to this particular area. It does not take me in. It is not guaranteed. So are you trying to say that I can sometimes get stranded? Yeah, definitely you will be even getting stranded here when going here. So then that means if my marks are less, I have to do more units to get my marks into the medical school. Definitely yes. So average, this method can take not 3 + 4, 7 years. It can take about 8 years with lost time. And this will consist a lot of money, which you are going to actually use it. This method, therefore, is not really highly recommended for students to go through. I'm going to give you a different method after this. Let's say you do your O-levels and you have A-levels. You have A-levels. You can have any results as long as SLMC criteria is going to be CCS, or you can have a non-SLMC criteria such as CSS. With this kind of results, what you would do is you would enter the medical school the way I'm going to explain you here, that you do not go to Canada and do your first preliminary things, right? You would be looking at any alternative things, looking into an alternative avenue of entering the universities. Yeah. So when you look into this method, I'm going to give you a very cost-effective method where you will be able to study 6 years in Belarus. 6 years. You will be studying 6 years in Belarus. What's going to be my cost if I'm going to do this? It's going to be about 30 lakhs a year, all inclusive. 30 lakhs a year, all inclusive, right? Into 6 years. So the total investment, at least I'm going to look into here, is going to be approximately, at least going to be about 180 lakhs. You're going to go into about 180 lakhs. I have kind of exaggerated the prices, so don't worry, even if 180 is not accurate, it might be about 190 or 200, it won't become 300. That's what I want to say. 30 lakhs a year into 6 years in Belarus. What happens after this is done is that you will get an opportunity to get into an internship in Belarus. Please make sure that you complete this particular internship. Here you go. Is this going to be useful for MBBS doctors who is willing to work? Yes, it will be useful after the next 15 minutes. I'm going to talk to professionals who are already doctors who can actually make use of this. So let me get back into the discussion. This is going to be about 1 or 2 years. It's going to be about 1 or it's going to be about 2 years. After 1 or 2 years or during 1 or 2 years, make sure that you get into the Canadian exams. So either you're a student or either you're a doctor who has completed this, you need to get into the Canadian exam system. I will later speak about what are the requirements needed to enter and go through the Canadian licensing exams. In the time of Canadian exams of what you do, I tell students to inform us that the Canadian exams is what you intend somewhere in the 4th year. So let's assume that I'm coloring the 3rd, 4th year area. You need to tell me somewhere here that you're looking at this particular section. Then what we do is we will help you to get registered with the system in such a way that once we register you, okay, you can do the theory part somewhere here. Once we register you, you can do the theory part somewhere here, right? The rest of the parts can be done here, and you will enter Canada, but you will still take time to work in Canada. I will come into that particular aspect when I talk about the professionals entering it. There is another issue of some students who don't have A-level results, but who want to have a Canadian qualifications, what they can do. So let's say that if you don't have the minimum A-level criteria to enter university, you can do a Canadian Foundation course. The Canadian Foundation course details can be found in the website here. This is called the CPU, or the Canadian Pre-University course, or it can be called the Ontario Secondary School Diploma. Apart from these two names or three names which I have in the screen, some call it the Canadian Pre-Medicine, some call it the Canadian Qualification. So when you go to a university's entry requirement, if you see something which says Canadian Qualification Framework, something to do with Canadian, it means this particular course. This course is done by prospective medical graduates from O levels onwards. This is an alternative to A levels. Make A levels the reason why this is going to be a very famous option is because this Canadian Foundation is going to be just 10 months. It's going to have only 7 subjects, and the cost of entire program is just 4,000 USD. So if you are a person who is going to do local A levels, you know the problem with local A levels, that the local A levels is 2.5 years to 3 years, and by the time you get results, it's 3.5 years. So after 3.5 years only, after 3 years only, we can apply for universities, number 1. Number 2, worst scenario is if you are going to do first shy, second shy, third shy. Third worst scenario is you pay a lot of money for classes. Okay, compare that with London A levels. London A levels can be done in a shorter time, like 2 or 2.5 years. But the drastic difference is when you go to British Council and pay for your exams in pounds. That's a lot of money. Pounds are more expensive than US dollars. Apart from that, you will of course go for theory, revision classes. But this is a one-time payment, what you do. Your grades are not being done with the entire subject separately, but it is given by 100% of what you do. Averagely, students easily, comfortably are able to score 80% because of assignments and exams. So if you want to know more about this, contact the counselors who have given you today's event link. They will take you to the next level of how do you understand and get registered with this program for 10 months. It's just a 10-month program what we have. Okay, the final part of what we are going to look at is, what if I am already a doctor? So I am already a doctor. Okay, I'm already a doctor, right? I am looking at migrating. To come to this particular category of students or clients or professionals, you basically don't need us. You don't need me. You can deal directly with the university. The university is something what you need to deal with. The university which you are working with will have a possibility of helping you out. I'm just going to tell you what are the things which you should be prepared with. When you come into this, please listen to this very carefully. I'm not being pessimistic in this, but I'm telling you the real source of what we are going to do. At least this information is going to help you to the next level. Do you know what is the best time to migrate? Let's speak factfully without hiding any things and not disappointing you later by the. I'm just going to tell you upright raw data that the best age to migrate is 27 to 33 years. I hope there won't be people, doctors, who are going to actually get discouraged with this. I'm telling you factfully how it is going to be when it comes into here. So you might be at the moment a doctor who is in this age. You might be a doctor who is beyond this age for sure. I understand. But I am telling you for your knowledge, for your purpose, and for your exposure that this is a fact. We can't change this. I want you to advise people. You might have cousins, you might have sons, daughters, you might have relatives. Please look into this particular thing, that full marks is able to be obtained if you are a person between 27 to 33 years. This is an indirective message for students and future doctors who are looking at Canada migration, that when you are doing this, don't plan to come to Sri Lanka, work here for about 5, 6, 10 years, and then think that I'm going to migrate to Canada by doing Canada exams. Your age will be 40 years. Then you're going to lose a lot of marks. A person has to make his mind or her mind in the 3rd, 4th year. That is why I highlighted this. So that you enter, listen to this very carefully. I have another half an hour only to go. I have another only half an hour. In that half an hour, I will finish it in 25 minutes. I'll keep 5 minutes for question and answers. You need to make this decision while at least you're in the medical school, so that assuming you finish A levels by 19, you enter the medical school at 19 or 20, you study a MD or an MBBS and complete it by the age of 25, 26. You have done your internships as 27, 28, and you are now fresh, okay, that you need to make a decision really quick. Don't do a wrong decision that if you're coming to Sri Lanka, then we'll plan to work in Sri Lanka. That's it. People have done that. Okay, I know the percentage is very less the way Sri Lanka is going on, but people are still doing it, right? People who think that, look, I'm not going to migrate. I don't like the climate in Canada. I'll be in Sri Lanka, right? I have enough properties. My family has enough properties here. We are still going to be here. Well, it's up to you, but don't decide after the age of 40, you're at a disadvantage. Apart from this, the next layer is going to be that the next layer is going to be from here 27 to 33 years. You can get into the age of 33 to 40. Good news. Good news. Also, you can get into the Canadian system if you're at the age of 33, 40. I'm assuming that you are single or you're married with kids. Still, you will be you can apply, but your marks of applying is going to be pretty much less. If you're a person who is going to be 33, 40, you should have better credentials than someone who is 27 to 33. මම මොකද්ද මේ indirectly කියන්න යන්නේ, ඔය ඔබතුමන්ලා අවුරුදු 33යි 40යි අතර නම් I basically am trying to hint at you that I hope you are not a general doctor. You should have had some postgraduate qualifications behind your name. You should be a consultant by then. Then that age disadvantage එක මෙතනින් යනවා. Are we clear, guys? Are we clear? Now, when you're 27 to 33, why the Canadian governments want you there is because you're fresh, you're young, you're well set, you're totally under control. So they will take you as an undergraduate doctor. Why they would want you between 33 to 40 is when they think that you are a consultant and the country can benefit from your knowledge. In that consultant part, there is actually a preference which Canada will give you in the consultancy also. There is a list which the Canadian Medical Council will issue on their website, which consultancy is superior than what and how many slots does the country need. They issue a statistic data. They issue. If you are a person who is doing a consultancy which is high in demand, you are going to get a better chance of entering Canada. So there is hope when you're 33 to 40, right? The third and the final category here is when you're 40 and above. I am not going to exactly specify an age here. I know a doctor who went to Canada, migrated to Canada with his family. He's a plastic surgeon. Okay, he's a plastic surgeon. And I'm also telling you, according to my research, plastic surgery has a very good demand in Canada. I am aware of a doctor who was 55 years, still migrated to Canada. Age group is way beyond me. How on earth did he becoming a consultant is fine, but after the age of 55, how did he still do that? Right. How did he do that is apart from your qualifications and things like that, they will want to know what are you bringing to Canada. අවුරුදු 50ක 55ක ඉන්න doctor කෙනෙක් I think will have enough of reserves. Do you agree with me? Enough of assets, a good vehicle, a good house, enough of assets, US dollars, enough of assets. You have to prove that you will not just migrate to Canada, you will migrate to Canada and you will invest in something there. And you will invest in something there. Ehema Tibbanang, the government of Canada will consider this. I know a doctor, a royalist, he was the age of 55, who is now in Vancouver, who is doing something there. A royalist, okay, who is now at the age of 55, who has done this, right? එතකොට මේ වෙලාවේ කවුරු හරි ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක් කියනවා නම් අනේ සර් ඔයා කියන මොකක්වත් මට තාම නෑ මෙතන. Right, okay, then we talk to us personally, we will see how we can actually get into this, right? Look at what are the other fundamental things professionals like doctors have to know. When you are going here, please look into what we are going to actually show you here, and I'll help you actually understand how this is actually going to happen. So you need to regularly get in touch with this website. This is the main website. This is like the GMO or the SLNC version of what Canada has. You need to be in touch with this, physiciansapply.ca. This is a comprehensive website which will give you every detail, everything regarding to how do you get in to Canada. All of you respective doctors. I'm studying. Okay, let me clarify something. Dear doctors, dear medical students, can you post your questions here in this window? I'm actually in two windows. I'm typing in one window and my camera is in another. The camera one, I can't see much. I did my MBBS. Okay, I'll okay, that's a detailed question I need to look into. I will go through the questions in the last 5 minutes once I'm done. So I'm going to take another 20 minutes to finish this. So in this website, you need to get registered. I'll tell you and I'll show you what documents you need and how much you need to get registered and roughly how is the cost going to be. So you need to get in touch with this. You may take screenshots on this, or you may look at the recording. It's up to you, right? There are few things which this particular document says who is eligible to get into Canada. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ එව්ව නැත්තම් ඔයාට Canada eligibility එකක් නැහැ. Please forget the whole idea. Number one idea is a common sense idea which you doctors and you medical students should have. ඒ කියන්නේ Abyssinia directory එකේ තියෙන or WHO directory එකේ තියෙන university එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. I hope you have selected this sometime back, my dear respected doctors. I hope you have selected this. I hope medical students who have studied or studying, you have considered that studying in a WHO listed university is utmost priority. This is super duper important stuff, what you really have to do, right? This is something which you can easily look into in lists. Then I'm going to talk to you the negative of this. So are you trying to say that there are unlisted universities in WHO? Oh, there is new universities. New universities are not in this list. For a university to get into this list, they should have a hospital which has been performing for some times. It should have a hospital which is performing for some times. If you don't have a hospital which is performing for some times, WHO is not going to take you into this. So be careful if your university or hospital is like 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, be a little bit careful. I think you would be in kind of a soup at that time, right? Okay. හැබැයි මේ වෙලාවේ ඔයාගේ degree එක unlisted university එකක නම් I'm really sorry for doctors, we can't change it. I'm really sorry, right? This is the list which you need to go and see, right? Easily you can search your university name, country, these people will have the list, right? Apart from this, you need to actually get into the licensing system of Canada. Licentiate of Medical Council of Canada, LMCC. We call this the LMCC status. This is where I start my application process. From the application process of where I log in an account, I create an account with a username and a password, everything goes into this particular system. In this system, you will have to see what are the things which I'm going to have. So you need to get into this system, they say, and if you have passed this, you have an eligibility to actually get into Canada, but Tama guaranteed na, there is lot of other rules. So in these rules of what they say is that if you have a priority on a certified by the College of Family Physicians in Canada, you can additional Canadian qualifications, it will be much more vital. Apart from that, this system says some other licensing can be actually taken case by case. Even our SLMC is kind of flexible in that terms. Certain things they do it case by case. The SLMC says in their website and in their booklets that we only take London A levels and local A levels. ඊට පස්සේ vaguely they say any other equivalent qualification, not specifying what. Any other equivalent qualifications, they have approved sometimes Indian A levels also. I'm aware that they have approved Indian A levels. So some things are case by case scenario of what we'll have. So if you're a very senior doctor with some exposure or you have done any other licensing exams, please consider to enter these things here. So when you get into this, they will actually ask you some questions and they will ask you to upload things. So when you start here, they will charge a basic registration fee, approximately $200 onwards. The fees can change in times of when you apply and how you apply and things like that. Confirm that your medical degree is recognized in Canada. Take the online practice test, open a physiciansupply.ca account, submit your medical credentials for verification. You need to take this one. To do this, for potential students and for people who are in university, you also can take this test while you're in the university. You can just try this test also. Take the national assessment, collaboration, the NAC exam, take the Medical Council of Canada's qualifying exam, part 2. Part 2, you need to visit a center or visit Canada to do this. There are 80 centers around the world. There are 80 centers. Now, I know there is a USML, a GMC center in Madras or in Bangalore. I'm aware of it. I am not sure what is the closest center to Sri Lanka. So I am afraid, to be honest, I don't know what is the closest center to Sri Lanka, but there are enough of centers around the world which you can take. Average students have to visit Canada a few times to do some of these tests. It should include your visas. The cost should be considered for visas. Cost should be considered for your ticket and things like that. Would you guess the price of a ticket going to Canada? It's almost 5 to 7 to 8 lakhs. Going into Canada is 5, 7, 8, 8.5 lakhs at least. Husband and wife doctors who are trying to do this, at least you need to have approximately 1.7 million for your air tickets. Please consider these kind of things when you're looking into, right? In the process of becoming a doctor, please be attentive of the circles which I'm basically going to do. So you will enter through pre-medicine or A levels. You will complete a degree program. The degree has to be validated by the World WHO, and it has to be in the directory. So you need to verify if you're okay to do it. You can start to do your qualifying exams. You can have the assessment, and then you will be completing a residency program. After the residency program, you can do the other sections what you want. This residency program, I believe doctors have already done it. Potential students studying in the university, please opt for your residency program from your country. If you are a student who is studying in Malaysia, Malaysia will not give you residencies or internships. Another question is residency different from internship? Obviously, of course, it is different from internships. Malaysia will not give it. If I'm not mistaken, Russia does not give it. China gives, Nepal gives, Belarus gives, Pakistan gives. So there are some countries who give this, some countries who don't give this. Please check all this when you're doing it, when you want to go ahead with things like that. The residency minimum Canada wants you to do is 2 years, which means overnight you don't get to work in Canada. You need to come through this process. You need to come through this process, right? The final main important thing is to work in Canada as a doctor, you need to apply for your citizenship as well, right? So till then you can have an observership in the hospitals while you're working in Canada. Let's go on from here. I'll answer your questions in a couple of minutes, right? This is a question which I have taken. Can USMLE past doctors work in Canada? Now, some people have also had this mindset that North American qualifications are binded together, right? Well, kind of sometimes yes, sometimes no. When it comes into the medical bodies, the American medical bodies are totally different to the Canadian medical bodies. But whatever I have said here is valid for USMLE also. The process will not change. The process will be the same. It will go on as it is. There won't be any major difference. But what you need to understand is that USMLE and the Canadian entrance exams is going to be actually it's going to be actually different. So this is something which we are going to actually look into. More questions coming in. What about the sponsorship for medical courses? I will answer your question. I will answer your question. Right. After you finish the residency in the US and return to Canada, you cannot practice medicine, even if it is like that, because Canada does not accept the USMLE. Right? Canada does not accept the ECFMG certificate. Is this shocking? This is true. So if someone didn't tell you it, at least someone is telling it to you now that you can't do it like that. So you might ask me a question like this. What is your suggestion that if I am already in United States and I feel recession is hitting United States very fast, I need to move to Canada, what do I do? I'm telling you, you need to start the entire process the way I explained. You need to start the entire process as a fresh candidate. Because of your USMLE, you might do it fast, but you have to go through the process. If you are in United States, I will advise you to transfer to a different state, go from Michigan to, I don't know, California, or I mean, try something like that. It's a huge opportunity cost if you are going to transfer to Canada. So this is a big investment for students who have not made up their minds. Mama Australia, Mama New Zealand, I mean, what am I going to do? Well, it's up to you. You need to make a decision. If you make a decision, there is no turning back. One of the main people who will influence your decision is going to be the person who is recommending you these things. In the people who are recommending you, please ask advice from your seniors in the university. Even dear doctors, you are part of an alumni of your university. You might be a doctor from Manipal. You need to be in touch with the alumni of Manipal University, example, right? You should be in touch with the international department. They will put you to your seniors who have already tried these things and who will advise you some up-to-date information. My information is as at now up to date, but my information will be outdated probably another 1.5 to 2 years. Sorry. At that time, you need to go online and check some of the online updated bloggers, doctors who have added content into this. By January, I used to say that the Canadian entire process will cost you in LKR about 25 lakhs. After whatever which has happened in the Sri Lankan recession or in the Sri Lankan depreciation of the rupee value, I would say that now you would have to actually spend about 40 to 45 lakhs just for this particular system. You will ask me, sir, is this worth it? I'm telling you, guys, it is really worth it. In Canada, a consultant will earn that amount in 2 or 3 months. I repeat, a consultant will earn in 2 or 3 months. Don't judge that this cost is high. It's only high because we are exchanging these currencies and playing around with these currencies. That is why. So if it's husband and wife, are you trying to say that one person, it will take about 40, 45 lakhs? So that's going to make like 2 people, husband and wife. It's going to be about 90 lakhs. Yes, it is going to be about 90 lakhs. Is this going to be worth it? I'm telling you, husband and wife, trust me, worth it. Worth it. Do you know that Canada was the only country where doctors went on strike saying that they were paid too much? Did you hear what I said? Yes, you heard what I said. Canada is the only country in the world, in Quebec province, in Quebec, The only country where doctors went on strike saying that they are paid too much. So this is what I'm telling you, that whatever you're trying to do is worth it. Your question, if you're asking a question like that, it is like in current conditions, someone asking me, sir, is it worth it to buy an electric car or an electric bike? It's too expensive. I'm telling you, still it's worth it. Because you're buying an electric car not to sell. You will keep it with you. Number two, don't worry about the prices of electricity going up. You can charge your electric bike even from the workplace which you're going to work in. They will give you complimentary charging. You don't have to charge it in your home. Fuel prices are going to be high very fast. So is investing in a qualification in Canada or outright to go to Canada, is it worth it? I'm telling you, it's worth it. It will pay off. It will at least pay off your kids. If you're a mature doctor, as I said, above 40 or 50, it will exactly pay off whatever you do with that. So with this, my time is up and I am right on time. It's 8:18, almost 8:20. I am now going to answer your questions when it comes into this. So before we go into questions, please pause this. Please follow us here. You will have all this, and contact your counselors to have a detailed discussion on this. If you're a mature doctor, you don't really need us to help you out with it, but you can do this by your own. You need some backing from your university where you qualified. Your university's international department will be able to help you. Apart from that, a visa officer from a visa center should be able to guide you in it. There was a person who asked me about the sponsorship for medical courses. I really don't know what you meant by the sponsorship. If you mean sponsorship like to help you to fund your studies, I will say that you can fund your studies in various ways. You can take a loan, you can use credit cards, you can also request donor funds from your school, etc. Right? Apart from that, what I would say is that if you're looking at sponsorship to migrate, it is good if you have someone in Canada who is going to take responsibility for you, then they can sponsor. If you don't have like that, can't help it. You need to show a good amount of funds in order to do this. The amount of funds have doubled because the currencies have almost gone up by about 100% plus things. Right. Please post in your questions and I will take it in the order of what I'm going to see here. Is OET English exams accepted in Canada instead of IELTS? Okay, I am honestly not aware of that. I need to check on it and get back to you. The best person who will actually advise on that is a person who does the visa counseling part in order for you to go to the university. So anyone who is having the visa counseling part, you will definitely you will have an option to actually go. Okay. Another question has been asked about. Yes, I can see someone has raised their hands. Please, you can go ahead with your questions. You can type it in the screen, and I will help you. There is a question about the PTE test. I think what you mean by the PTE test is the English exam. The most recognized exams are IELTS, TOEFL, these kind of exams. I will suggest you to do the recognized exams itself. To do the Canadian license exam, do we have to have Canadian PR first? To do the, you're asking the exam. No. To do the exams, you don't need the Canadian PR. Please listen to this answer of what I'm trying to do. To do the Canadian licensing exams, you don't need the Canadian PR. Number one. Number two, but to work as a fully fledged doctor, do I need the Canadian PR? Yes, you need the Canadian PR if you want to be a fully fledged doctor. Right. Let me look at the other questions here. Hold on. What if I'm a fresh graduate and willing to do an investment in Canada? Will it get me superiority? Good idea. It will get you but you have to do with the process. Huh? You can't skip the exams or anything like that, but your setup will be actually fast. Your setup will be fast. Is it true that the Canadian licensing exams are super hard and it's very difficult for international doctors? Subjectively, yes and no. Every licensing exam is hard. Don't compare that this is easier than this. This is like, remember the young days when you all were doing A levels, when some people asked you, Cambridge is easy, Edexcel is easy. Actually, you take a research and see. Ask teachers, ask students. Take 10 people and see. It's like 60-40 ratio. It's very hard to make a decision. Can Cambridge Edexcel? It's exactly the same when you do this. Which licensing exams is easy? Come on. If a licensing exam is easy, how many doctors will actually try this? Every doctor will try it. Why is going to Canada hard? Because the licensing exam is hard. Licensing exams everywhere are hard. I'm upfront, bluntly telling you, I don't need to paint a rosy picture. Canadian exams, so every exam is hard. But I will put it like this. Is it possible? Is it doable? It is doable. It is possible. How many people tell that ERPM Act 16 is hard? I always say, yes, it's hard. Hard name, it's very hard. But is it possible? Hita tibbanam anivaryen karanna puluwan. You definitely can do. I am now 42 years. Okay, by the way, if you are a bit awkward or you feel a little uncomfortable to send an open message, you can send it privately. Your names will be anonymous. I'm 42 years, MBBS doctor with 13 years experience, has AMC Part 1. What are the job bounties as a doctor? Is there any possibility to get a PR? No, doctor, I will suggest you to go ahead with AMC. But the challenges of doing all this is still there. There are a lot of people who do AMC or either way ask me questions like this. This question has not come out yet, but they will ask me, just because I do all this, would you or your company or your school or the Canadian government or the Australian government guarantee a job opportunity? No. So you're trying to say that there is a chance that I do all this and I go to Canada and I will still work in petrol sheds? Yes. There is a chance that I will work in KFC? Bluntly, yes. It needs your contribution to go for interviews, put yourself front, right? Try to do that. I know a lot of senior doctors above 40 years who are now restudying medical stuff to compete with the youngsters, because you know that the medical profession gets updated every 8 to 10 years or even lesser than that. So you are at a tough call. And remember, we Sri Lankans are competing with many others. You know who are the most hardworking people? The Indians. Very hardworking people. Very hard to compete with the Indians. You have to go and see. You will hardly find doctor videos. I mean, you will find doctor videos, content creators from Sri Lanka talking about SLMC. How many content creators from Sri Lanka have talked about foreign exams? Almost none. How many Indian doctors have talked about all this? You will find a lot. In English, in Hindi, in Urdu, in Tamil, in other languages they have done. They give a very tough thing. So it's very hard actually to confirm this actually do. Scholarships about medicine universities, I will in summary tell you, you have to ask why should you get a scholarship? Are you a 3A student? Then yes, you have a chance of getting a scholarship. Can a person who starts at the medical school after 25 migrate to Canada before 33? Let me do the math for you. Your age is 25. You do an MD, you are 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. You're 31 years. Habai, remember I told you, you have to do your internship. Canada yana internship dekakpat karanda. Internship avrudu dekakpat karanda. So you are basically in the borderline of 33, 34. You can't do it. I'm practically telling you, you can't do it by 33. By the age of 34, you should be able to do it. I just did my A-level second shy. This year, my first shy results was 3 Bs. Can I study medicine in Canada? No, you can't study medicine in Canada. You need to study medicine in Belarus and then transfer to Canada. Or number 2, you can do the Canadian Foundation course, score 92% marks. After scoring 92% marks or 93% marks, yes, you can go to Canada. My daughter is 22 years, has completed my daughter is 22 years, has completed 5th year in Vitebsk. So after completing ERPM and internship in Sri Lanka, can she try after that? Of course, yes, of course. But to do that, I would tell you, I would tell not to try ERPM. Directly try this. I did my MBBS, MS in orthopedics, residency in China. Okay, good, but not an SLMC registered doctor. That is not a problem. What are my options? What are your options? You said you studied in China. I think your university should be okay everywhere. Residency in 2016. Why am I looking at the year is because there is a big disadvantage for people who studied the online thing after COVID. So people who have got stuck with COVID here and there with China are a bit of an issue. The university is listed means I think you can comfortably get into Canada or any other countries. You have an MS in orthopedics. You have residency also. Okay, I think you have a very strong chance to go. I'm studying in VSMU first year, second semester. My ALs is BCD. I got D for physics, but I did it on a different sitting. That is on May. I did biochem, but physics on, okay, right, understood. Can I still opt to work in Canada? Canada doesn't look into all that. Can you see that Canada didn't go into that detail? You know, in Sri Lanka, we look at one sitting, we look at physics instead of mathematics, we look at something else also, I can't remember. We look at many things. Okay, we look at many things. Will they look into my AL results by chance? No, they won't. Don't worry. I have this doubt because I could not register SLMC. Yes. I hear you out very clearly that you have a SLMC problem, but don't worry. I'm studying in Malaysia. We cannot do internship there. Is there a pathway for us to do Canada? No, it's very hard. You will have a very rigorous pathway to do it in Canada, but not that you can't go to Canada. You have to find an internship somewhere. One option is coming to Sri Lanka and doing the internship. This is a big disadvantage in Canada. I advise and I ask people, why did you go to Malaysia knowing there is no internship? And they say, no, my counselor didn't tell this to me. My agents didn't tell this to me. I was shocked. What is your plan after studying in Malaysia? I mean, they are point blank confused. Be very careful in that. When we study in VSMU, we can come to Sri Lanka in our holiday month. What are the other options? If you come to Sri Lanka, inform the university to give you a health ministry letterhead document, which says that you have been studying here and you are going to Sri Lanka for a 2-month vacation and you need to work in a government hospital. Take that letter and run to the Ministry of Health Ministry. Health Ministry get a signature from someone with a seal there saying that this is granted. Letter එක අරගෙන දුවලා යන්න ළඟම තියෙන hospital එකේ director general ව ගිහිල්ලා හම්බෙන්න. So the one near my house is the Kalubowila hospital. Go and meet the director general and you will get like a roster or a schedule to work in Kalubowila hospital for 2 months. I completed 2 years of my internship. Can I apply for PR in Canada? You need to go through this entire process and you need to agree to do 2 years residency in Canada. After that, you will be considered for a PR. Is there any scholarship to study medicine in Belarus with AAB? No, you can obtain a discount, but a discount with the handling fees, but you won't get a scholarship kind of like 50-100% off. No. However, you will get a 25% off if you can maintain A grade marks in the university. Guys, I have been going on like a parrot because of this time. Malaysian students can try the US. Yes, you can try US, but you will have a disadvantage since you don't have your internship in Malaysia. After completing the theory part of Canada licensing exams, how do we complete the practical part? As I told, you need to enter Canada, or you can do some of the parts in the 80 registered centers. When comes with a comparison with UK or Canada, which is more expensive comparatively, I am biased on this, Nadia. Which is expensive? Is Canada expensive or UK expensive? I can be biased on this. I can be wrong also on this. My personal experience is Canada can be expensive. It's not going to be a big gap. Canada can be little expensive. How can I transfer money to Belarus from rupees or USD? You can do from rupees or USD. If you're doing from USD, you will do it from a direct account. If you do it from rupees, you can do it via MoneyGram. If you're, via MoneyGram, yes. Roughly how long does the process of the licensing exam and practicing as a doctor would take? Licensing exams, part 1, let's say we'll finish while you're studying. Part 2 will finish else after that. You have to have your 2 years of licensing. You have to have at least 1 to 2 years of internship, 2 years minimum of residency. We are looking at something like 5 years. We are looking at something like 5 years. Now you know why it's not easy, right? It's not easy. The more it's not easy, the more the value of going to Canada actually becomes much more high. Okay, time is 8:30. I thank you profusely for everyone who has been in touch with us. Get in touch with all your counselors. If you have more questions, just come on YouTube and comment on our video and I'll probably answer you there. After finishing medicine in Belarus, how many years of internship have I got to go to Canada? Try to do 2 years. 1 year is good. Try to do 2 years. It's better than 1 year. If you're coming to Canada in Belarus, register for the BSc in Biomedical Science course as well. Is there any training program for AMC exams? There are training programs online. I'm not sure Sri Lanka does any training programs from here. There are online training programs. Don't worry. There are enough of training programs done for the AMC. Right. If you want to know a name of a training program, I'll show you. Medical licensing. Sorry, I have not included the name here. Okay, let me see if the name is available here. Just hold on. Just hold on. There is an English name, a person's name. It's a doctor actually. His name. He has created his center and registered under his name. So it doesn't come to my sense at the moment, right? So please, okay. So please recommend a training program for Canadian licensing exam. Okay, let me come back to you on that. A lot of Indian doctors are doing some sessions. I will recommend them. It will be more accessible because they make it very tough so that their training is really good to enter. Are there any courses about microbiology? Sorry, we don't have. Okay, guys, thank you very much for participating in this seminar. I hope it was fruitful and I gave you some insights. So keep in touch with me. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. My name is Intikab. I will be adding more content into this. And cheers. God bless you. Keep in touch. We'll meet up on another day for probably a different kind of a theme. See you guys. Cheers. Adios, amigos.